Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, the series where I share my review and my opinion on different video games I've experienced. This time, I want to talk about a game that passed under the radar of many due to the fact that 2020 was filled with many great titles, and of course, I'm referring to the Ghostrunner. Ghostrunner is a first-person hack-and-slash platforming game developed by two indie studios, One More Level and Sleepgate Ironworks, and it was published by 505 Games and All-in-One Games at the end of 2020. The next-gen consoles received their version of the game a year later in 2021, and in general, the game was received with positive reviews and positive feedback for its fun gameplay experience. As I mentioned, it was slightly overshadowed upon its release due to the fact that there were major games being out at the same time, such as Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us Part 2, Miles Morales, Animal Crossing, Fall Guys, and plenty of others. Needless to say, 2 years later in 2022, the game successfully has established a loyal fanbase, and there are plenty of speedrunners who help popularize the game by doing their own speedruns. The game takes place in a dark apocalyptic future where the humans were forced to live up in a giant tower made by a mysterious person who died, and we don't know what happened to him. The people seem to be aware that something is happening, but no one wants to explain things. The opening cutscene introduces us to a player, a cyber ninja dude who seems to be a combination of Genji from Overwatch and Jack the Ripper from Metal Gear Rising. The ninja seems to be making his way to the top of the tower in order to discover the truth behind the tower. However, a character with machine hands, similar to Dr. Octavius from Spider-Man, stops the ninja, cuts off his arms, and throws him off the building, presumed dead. The player then gets control of the ninja, who wakes up and receives a strange call from a voice, which seems to be amazed that the ninja is still alive and warns him that he should start moving, as soon he'll be discovered and being chased in order to be terminated. He also explains how he has some mechanical implants on him in order to restore his functions, and asks him to come meet him in order to make sure that everything works fine. He also explains the ninja that he is in fact a Ghostrunner, a technological enhanced superhuman with the goal of preserving peace. He also explains to him how he was behind the project Ghostrunners and how his team betrayed him in order for them to proceed and terminate most of the Ghostrunners. Jack, Ghostrunner number 47 and our playable hero, is told that he is lucky that he got found by the Resistance and how he should help them climb on the top of the tower and expose its secrets. Honestly, it's a very nice story and it suits perfectly with the type of the gameplay. What I said about the story section is literally being covered in the first 2 missions out of the 17 that the game offers. Needless to say, not so many people will be able to play and finish the game fast, either because it's hard or they got a new game that they may be looking forward to, or for many other reasons. This doesn't matter as the game repeats the story both in the middle of the 17 missions but also at the end. So if you take a break, let's say a month or 2 months, and come back to it, you'll still be able to know what's happening and what was told. It's a simple story and it works great, honestly. The gameplay of Ghostrunner is heavily influenced by the Doom series and the trending of surfing games such as CSGO and Cluster-Struck, 2 games that were very popular, especially with YouTube commentators who were a trend during the 2017 and 2020 years. To elaborate, in Ghostrunner the player gets control of Jack, a Ghostrunner whose goal is to escape from the city and head towards the tower and slash his way up the way to the top. Movement is free and fun, which allows the hero to always sprint forward, wall run on the walls, and use his webbing in order to swing around near enemies. Similar to Doom, the game is all about moving and killing to not lose the momentum. The game has plenty of enemies, and honestly the game does a fantastic job to always introduce new enemies, making the whole experience better. For example, there are people with guns, people with miniguns, bots that shoot lasers, ninjas who require to be parried in order to attack, kamikaze folks, enemies with shields that require the player to attack them from behind, flying drones, holographic gunners, and hack Ghostrunners. These alone are hard, and imagine when they're being combined, such as having Ghostrunners and ninjas at the same time. It's a great thing, honestly. Each enemy is unique with their attack patterns and their weaknesses. Despite all the enemies, there are also items in the maps that can also kill the player, such as spikes, electricity, and others. The Ghostrunner is always one shot, which means that a single hit will cause death to the player and respawn. Thankfully, the game knows that this is a game that the people will die a lot, and the respawn time and the loading screens are honestly very small in both the PS4 and the PS5. Similarly, every enemy is one shot and they can die easily from the Ghostrunner's blade and shurikens, which he can throw given he picked them up for temporary power up. To defend himself, the Ghostrunner has to avoid it by moving left and right, by perfect timing the blade swing in order to deflect the bullet, and last but not least by slowing down time, which is something that the player will do a lot, and avoid them by moving left or right from the bullet. The slow down mechanic can be used both in battles and for platforming tasks. Furthermore, the game rewards the player's progression with extra skills, which charge slowly on their own, or each time an enemy falls from the Ghostrunner's blade. The first power-up is a swift strike, very similar to Genji from Overwatch. The time will slowly move and the player can aim in order for him to dash forward and slice the enemy through. If there are more enemies in alignment, more enemies will fall. The second ability is something similar to the Force in Star Wars. The Ghostrunner moves, he approaches the enemies, and by showing his palm, a shockwave is thrown, killing anyone in its path. This is an AoE attack that can kill plenty of enemies, given that they're in the range of the AoE. Furthermore, the third ability gain is a projectile slash that moves horizontally, killing anyone in its path, very similar to Ichigo's Ketsuga Tensho from the Bleach series. Last but not least, the fourth skill the hero can obtain is an override. The Ghostrunner can hack an enemy's brain temporarily, which will make the enemy start shooting his own teammates in response to them shooting him back. Overall, it's a great fast-paced experience with plenty of puzzles and challenge. Last but not least, as I mentioned, there's 17 levels that consist of plenty of collectibles such as blades, items, and recordings that the player can obtain. Once the game is cleared, the players can access hard mode, where pretty much it's the same levels with slightly altered platforms and the addition of enemies spawning in very early stages. For example, the assassins found in the last 7 stages can be found in level 1. Moreover, there is wave mode. In wave mode, the player is going through 20 levels, killing enemies within. Each time a level is clear, the player can equip 1 up to 3 passive skills, or skills that were mentioned for him to equip for its Ghostrunner. Completing all 20 will allow for a harder difficulty. Finally, there is level select that allows the player to select which level he prefers to play, either to get a collectible or either to experience it. The game also has a DLC where the player gets control of a different Ghostrunner known as Hell. She's discovering different places of the tower. I personally enjoyed the game. Its simple plot allowed me to leave the game, come back, and still enjoy playing it. For me, Ghostrunner, it was like that one game that I had back on my PlayStation that I wasn't playing a lot because I was playing with friends, but whenever a friend of mine was leaving early or I was waiting for somebody, I would just log on and play if I didn't have anything else to do. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments below what are your thoughts on the game and if you're willing to give it a try. More details can always be found in my website, links below. Take care and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!